Yes, yes, yes. Another beautiful day.
Welcome.
This is my beautiful wife, Avion Blackman. This is
Right.
Kavahena. And we have with us virtually, you're in Missouri right now, right?
Yes.
Nikita Carter. Nikita, do you know what just happened?
Lock and
We
Step, I heard. I haven't seen it yet. My
Oh
friend
my
haven't seen
goodness.
it yet. Girl, we just launched a brand new music video. In all of the chaos that has been going on, in the last 15 minutes, we just released Lock and Step music video, and you are singing in
so
it.
excited,
You are singing.
honored. I can't believe it because if people knew where I started, I can't believe it.
Where did you start?
I definitely labeled myself as a dancer always, and so I love singing, but I didn't see it all the way professionally. And then God
Yeah.
called me into CHRISTAFARI. And
Look, it says featuring Nikita
I
Carter.
know I haven't even seen it yet. My friend in Curacao, she texted me that she saw it.
Look at you! Look at you!
Oh.
Did you see what we used as the main photo? We used you and only you, girl. You're a rock star.
Oh.
You are a rock star, and we're so proud of the growth and development that you've made. I'll be frank, girl. When we brought you in the band, and we were in Holland,
I know.
and we did a layover,
I know.
my wife had how much time with you?
At least an hour in the hotel.
Yeah.
An hour in the
Yeah.
hotel to train you how to sing. At that very moment, my wife and I had that kind of eye contact, like, okay, this is going to be a little bit of work. But over the last few years, we've seen God as a waymaker and a miracle worker, and a big portion of that has been because you have applied yourself.
Yeah.
And so today, we want to teach you, whether you're a shower singer, whether you're a choir singer, whether you're a band leader, whether you're a professional singer or not, we want to teach you how to sing to the best of your ability, and Avion's going to teach you how to do that. The challenge is, you may never sing like Avion Blackman.
Well, everybody sings differently. God gave everybody different ways to sing. So it's just tools to develop what your tone, what God has given you.
Yeah. One reason why you may never sing like Avion Blackman is that when you were a young child, you got tonsillitis.
Yeah.
And that meant that you had polyps and nodules on your vocal cords, pus and blood.
You sound like-
And for years, how many years was that? 15 years?
Yeah, about that.
And when I met you, I finally convinced you to get surgery, and after that happened, your voice changed.
Yeah.
After the surgery, your voice changed, and after your surgery, do you think you sing better or worse?
It took a little while for me to get to have control again, because it was just like all of a sudden there was this extra volume. The way I would push, it was just like it wasn't controlled. So it took me a while to have it balanced.
And now you have that, but yet I think you're the best singer I know. So we're going to teach you how to sing like her, but just understand, unless you've had tonsillitis and were raised in Trinidad jungle and allergic to everything you lived around, you may never sound exactly like Avion, right, Nikita?
Well, yeah.
All right, let's get started. Avion,
Oh gosh.
teach us how to sing.
No, well, before teaching to sing, first of all, I want you to know that it's a gift that God gave you, and whatever he gives to you, to give it to him, give it back to him, to glorify him. So this is not to get famous or anything. It's to, how can I glorify God even more?
So I guess what she's saying is it's not just how you sing, it's why you sing and who you sing for. And I want to end with that at the end as well, just to remind you once again how, who, why. These are all crucial things. Everybody wants to learn how, but what are you going to do with it if you learn how to do it?
Yeah, I think it's very important. And because you're doing this for God, you should What's the word? Sharpened. You should bring your best to God, your best, the first fruits and the best. So you need to, yeah, just give it your all, give it your best. So yeah, all right. Anything, Nikita, you like to throw in there?
Yeah, I would like to add, whether it's talent or skill, there's always room for growth. So even if it's like natural talent where you have this perfect pitch, challenge yourself to keep growing. Not just some of us have to work a little bit harder. Like I admit, I have to work way more harder. But I think God wants us to grow in every place of our life. So also musically and talent, in your talent, keep growing. Don't just be in the same level.
Yeah, yeah. And with that, it's not just singing. Um, it's also a combination of appearance, stage performance, all that. So I want to get into each subject like that.
Yeah.
Where should we start first?
Well, I know a lot of times when people have come in person to us, they want to kind of know, what is your routine before a show? How do you warm up? So I was thinking we've done in the past where we literally ask people to stand up. So if you're, I guess, in your room, like Avion is standing right now,
Yeah.
walk you through a few exercises from what she does and how to prepare. So you can stand up
Okay.
right now.
Yeah, yeah. You guys stand up even though I can't see you.
Yeah, and just because of delays, let's only have Avion being on right now, volume wise.
Yeah.
And why don't you train Kavahena? Why don't you teach her?
All right,
Not that she doesn't know how to sing, but why don't you teach her some of your Jedi ways? Okay?
Well, these are some techniques that my dad taught me. My dad and my sister taught me growing up as a kid. They're like breathing exercises, also physical exercises. So let's create some space here. So you want to stand up, have a little space, so open up your arms. So you breathe. And every time you move your hands, you take in another breath so that fills your lungs. So when you fill it to the highest, you let out the air slowly. Until you have no more air and you go right back into the routine. So you do again.
So as the arms go up, you're taking in air, and when you think you've taken in enough, put your arms up more and take in more, and then slowly release. And as you slowly release, you can work on that breathing exercise, and this also helps with stress.
Yeah, and the exercise too helps your lungs to kind of loosen, to free up your lungs, and as the air comes in. So you do that a couple times, let's say 6 times or 7, how many times you do that. And then after that, you do the same exercise, breathe in the same way, and you find a note. You should always have some instrument as a key reference, whether if it's a guitar, melodica, piano, but you always have to have a key reference, which tunes your air. Okay? So let's go to a random note. All right. So you hear the note. You breathe. And you go as long as you can, all the way out, all the air. And as soon as you finish, you go back again. Instantly. And again. And you do that note probably like twice, and then you move on to another note. Maybe half tone. So that was. So you breathe and you and the next note, until you reach like your highest note that you can go, and you push with that note. So I would recommend probably start with your lowest note first, the lowest you can go.
Yeah, you can't hurt yourself by going too low.
Yeah.
But you can hurt yourself if you start by going too high too quickly.
So, yeah.
You want to warm up.
Yes, you want to warm up. So whatever's your lowest note, but you pick it on the instrument that you're playing, and you go until the highest you can go. So that's a technique. One of the same techniques I learned. There's another technique where you pick the note and you breathe, and you say the note is same note. Okay, so you go and every time you go you breathe in air. So so that helps when you have to sing like from one note to the next, so one word to the next. So it helps, just open up your lungs and everything like that. So you go okay, so that's one. Another one, this one is for helping with dynamics, because dynamics is very important when you sing, because you're telling a story. You're just not just blurting out notes. Everything you sing, I'll get into that later, but you're telling a story, so it has to be uphills, downhills, soft parts, louder parts. So this one helps with that. So same note, let's take a note. You start soft, breathe. Go
for it. Let's hear you do it.
So it's that soft. You could use my hand as a reference. Breathe. Push. Okay, I want you to push like you were shouting to the person by the tree on the other side. Okay, when I reach to the diamond, to the hard part. Let's go. Louder. Push. Okay, that's something you need to work on, because as I say, it's dynamics. The song is going up and down. So again, let's do it again. So you should also, it's a cute squirrel out there. so cute.
And our daughter's in the backyard barking with grandma, which I love too. So that's something that's crucial. And tell us why being able to push like that, why that is so crucial.
Well, sometimes some people might struggle with singing. But that exercise, they might struggle with power in your voice. And as I say, your song is up and down, it's dynamics. So sometimes you need to sing softer. Sometimes you need to push for some parts to express the part. And it's like talking to someone, as I would say in another class, you might say, I love you to someone. You have, there's a tone, you say, I love you, but you never shout to the person, I love you, so there's dynamics for each word. each word, there are dynamics, you know? So that helps with that. Also, this one is a little exercise. It involves you and you guys. I will do like a scale. Let's see. Let's start with this note again. So it could be let's go lower. You know that one? Okay. So now I'm gonna do this will be low. Okay, but you have to watch me. So you stand over here. So remember, this is low. Okay, so I'm gonna, wherever I go, you sing, okay? You all follow as well. So let's start. I hope you guys are doing it too. Let's go. So that helps with, I guess, dynamics as well, and following a tune as the guitar, wherever goes, and find someone to do it with you. That would help a lot. Okay. Anything else you guys want to add in, Nikita?
No, I was thinking there's another exercise, and I'm trying to remember which one it was, where you talked about you just did the dynamics, but there's another one and I just can't remember it.
Oh boy.
I know one. I do mayo.
And shape, ba 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 ba. And you know that helps before you go on stage.
Yeah,
it really helps to
Open up your voice.
to open up your voice, warm up your voice. Ba 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 ba. Yeah. So as I was saying before, that singing it tells a story. So I want to move on to that, a little deeper into that. I think what helps too is when you sing, you need to listen to your words that you sing. When you do, it helps bring meaning to what comes out of your mouth. And what comes out will come from your heart, because it means something to you. So keep that in mind whenever you sing. Every word, every single word has a meaning, and when you listen to the words, it really, really comes from your heart. So singing from your heart is a great way of expression of worship, and to leading other people into worship as well. And also, I like to move on to.
Can I just add to that? Sing from your soul to win other souls.
Yes. Yeah. And I want to move on also to stage presence. I know it goes kind of hand in hand. It's worshiping from the heart, but also it's a performance as well. It's entertainment as well. So you have to find a way to have a balance of both, because you could be, oh, I'm in the spirit, I'm worshiping, I'm just going to close my eyes here and sing, but you forget that you have an audience and you have to address each person in the audience, make eye contact with people in the audience, sing to here, sing to here, sing to over there, move back and forth. It's like you addressing everybody. And
just to add to that, I like to divide the audience into 5 parts. So you have the front left, you have the front right, and then you have the rear left, the rear center, and the rear right. So if you look at it, you got this, and then this, and this. And I make sure that in every song I'm addressing all those people through eye contact, through smiles, through pointing, a fist bump, whatever, and make sure you're singing for the people in the balcony or wherever, the photographers, even people on the side of the stage. But don't forget your bandmates.
Yes.
If you don't interact with them, if you ignore them, it's all about you, and it's not about you. It's about serving him. But you gotta have fun and jam and and keep moving too. It's not easy to do this while dancing, especially while playing bass.
Can't move. I can't move with the bass.
You're getting there. So yeah, appearance has a lot to do with it. How you dress, your clothing tells a story too. Everything it's all.
And don't wear your skin color.
Never wear your skin color on stage.
If you're a white person and you're wearing cream-colored pants, from afar you will look like you're not wearing pants.
Yes. and don't wear colors like this too. At least if you're moving up and down, a lot of people always ask us why you wear black so much. It's because we move a lot on stage and you sweat. And when you sweat in something colored like this, you have sweat marks here, butterflies here.
I didn't realize that was a tie-dye shirt. It wasn't.
It looks horrible.
Yeah, so think about that, how much you're going to sweat as well.
Yeah, yes. Anything else you want to add, Nikita?
I think for women, I want to add a little additional thing.
Yes,
to the ladies, especially we're worshiping the Lord, so the emphasis should never be, oh, look at me, how cute I am for the Lord. We know you're cute. I believe you are cute, but it should never, ever be about you. So if you think about what to wear, whether it's leading worship or you're performing, I would say, I'm actually going to stand up so you can see this, but I'm wearing a top right now. It's all the way to my knees, so that I don't have to worry about the crotch area when you're dancing, when you're moving. You can wear a tight pants, but try to have something more flowy over it, because you just don't want to cause attention to your midriff.
Yeah.
Don't wear stuff that is short, so that when you're praising the Lord, it's like coming up. If you're jumping, like we do a lot of songs, I'm going to say it because we're very direct.
Sports bra.
Something that keeps everything in place.
Yes.
I also think for men, this is not just for women. I think men also have to think about that too. Like, what are you wearing? You don't need to show your stomach, midriff, wear something that covers it. What else can we add about clothing?
Well, I just want to talk about girls covering up their girls.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's keep the focus on the words, not the cleavage.
You don't want to be a distraction. You're bringing people to worship God, and you don't need all these sexual distractions. It's put the girls away.
Put the girls away.
Oh, another thing I want to add, like if you're a band with multiple people on stage, like I understand if you're a guitarist or a keyboardist, you probably will stay in your same section and you won't move as much. But if there's, let's say, three people that are all moving and the fourth person is not moving, best believe all the attention goes to the one that doesn't move. So you want to have equal movement. You don't have to be a dancer, but at least keep the energy the same, because people will always look to the one who doesn't do the same as the majority.
Yeah, I call it the painted feet. I always tell a new band member, imagine that your feet have been dunked in red paint at the beginning of the show. If I looked at the stage afterwards and I just saw this, and that's it, you have failed. You need to literally have your footprints all over the stage in a safe manner. Watch out for monitors or the edge of the stage don't fall off. Bob Marley broke an arm by falling off stage one time. He was probably stoned. But yeah, you want to not just address the different sides of the audience, but the different parts of the stage. And yeah, some churches don't want you to do that at all. I understand that. But yeah. All right. Singing.
Yeah. Well, there, as you see, Nikita's holding a cup of tea, and I just drank some. That helps your voice a lot. Drink like throat coat tea. We always have throat coat on stage. It really helps with your throat. A little warm tea, lemon, a little honey in it. Yeah,
nothing too hot.
Yeah,
that will shock your throat,
and nothing
too cold. Yeah, that will shock your throat again. Avoid caffeine. Mm-hmm. It will dry your vocal cord out. Mm-hmm. Avoid menthol or cough drops that will numb your voice or numb your throat, because if your throat hurts, your body's saying don't. Your vocal cords hurt. Your body's saying don't push. And if you numb it and push, you can do permanent damage, and you could get. I had nollips or nodules on my vocal cords for some time. I had to do a lot of work to get them off because I was singing like this. Don't do that. Do what's natural. Do what your voice naturally does. How can one? And of course, avoid smoking. Mm-hmm. How can dairy perhaps? Mm-hmm. How can one learn how to sing without blowing their voice? I've heard it's like learning how to cry like a baby cries.
Well, I know from me personally, when I didn't have monitors, when you have bad monitors on stage, you tend to overcompensate and you push. And for years, we didn't have in-ear monitors. When we got in-ear monitors, it helped a whole lot. And I don't think I've blown up my voice in years because of in-ear monitors. But if you don't have in-ear monitors, for a couple of years I stopped. I mean, when I didn't have in-ear monitors, I started using wax earplugs. I think there's one called Max.
Dr. Max.
Dr. Max.
MACKS.
And I would put it in one ear, and it really seals off the air, so you can hear your voice.
Your head voice.
Yeah, you can hear your head voice, and in that way you don't push too much, and your voice sounds sweeter too. You know, it doesn't sound like you're shouting all the time. So yeah, that helped a lot. So I would do that, to put some wax earplugs in if you don't have in-ear monitors.
And try only to cough if you desperately need it. But if you're going, that is the worst thing for your throat. Yeah. So try not to clear your throat like that. So drink something. That is better than like something that's guttural that hurts. Let's talk about how to sing without blowing out your voice.
But other than the earplugs, another thing what happens, I notice in the past with me, whenever I'm nervous, I tend to sing loud, tend to push a lot more, and I guess that's the time when you just need to breathe, breathe, and then what helps me get over, because sometimes I do get nervous for, I'll go a long time not be nervous, and then one day I am, and I'm like, why am I so nervous? And because of that, I tend to push, and when you push, sometimes you sing off key. So I kind of like breathe, and then I say, audience of one. I'm singing this for you, God. I'm singing this for Jesus. And I just focus on that. And I don't know, something happens where it's a joy, and you just want to worship, and it just coming out naturally. You're not nervous, like, oh, I wonder what this one will think, or, oh, my voice singing out there. And, all those things just go away, and there's a peace. So I think that helps a lot with not blowing out your voice.
Definitely. We've got people watching from Kenya, from Mauritius, from Solomon Islands, from Brazil, tell us where you're watching from. People from our favorite places in the world. Oh, we miss you so much. We want to hear the questions that you have for Avion, Nikita, Kavahena. Post them in the Q&A. Post those questions. We would love to get you in there. Some other tips. Let's talk about head voice versus singing from your diaphragm. Let's tell people how to do that.
Head voice. You mean like nasal?
Yeah,
nasal
versus.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There's different. Some people they sing nasal or throat. A lot of people tend to sing throat. That's the natural nervous way to sing. That blows out your voice more. So try and concentrate on using your abs, diaphragm. Sing from here, I would say. And another thing I want to touch on is tuning. You need to tune your ear.
Please, Lord Jesus.
No, it's just like an instrument, a guitar or anything. You need to tune it. You're singing, believe it or not, you have to tune as well. And the way you tune is you have to have some kind of instrument. As I said before, keyboard or guitar or melodica. You play the note, you sing. There's an app you used, Nikita. Tell us about that app.
It's called the Piano app, and it's free for Androids, iPhones, and you just download it on your phone, and I'm pulling it up. It looks like this. And you can literally play any note and scroll through it like a full piano.
Yeah. And there's another one as well where you sing, and it would kind of tell you if you were off or you're on.
What I use is the vocal pitch monitor app. I use that for my vocal class, and it allows you to see even like your vocals with the vibrations. So I don't know if that's the one you mean.
Yeah, vibrations, or if you on the key, the note, and all that. So there are apps out there you can use that would help.
We love to bring in people that are not necessarily qualified. I think one of the most qualified singers we've had that joined was Letitia Ugweke. In fact, she's here. I see her commenting.
Hi, Letitia.
And she went on to be a vocal instructor at Azusa Pacific. I got goosebumps just thinking about it. So awesome. And in fact, in a minute,
I should bring her on.
We'll bring her on.
Awesome.
Get makeup ready, Letitia. I know some people are like, oh no, but we'll bring you on to add some pointers that I know we missed because you've taught this for years. But a lot of times we don't bring on the person that's the most qualified. We bring on somebody that has a greater heart, and we always say God doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called. I'm going to say that again. God does not call the qualified, he qualifies the called. I mean, the least likely person to be king was David. His dad didn't even show him to Samuel. He wasn't even an option. Hey, Letitia.
Hi.
How you doing? Okay, you'll have to click on your mic when you're ready to talk, and when you're not talking, just click it off again. so one of the things we've had a struggle with is teaching somebody who doesn't know how to sing on key. And so I think the first thing we say is if you can learn an instrument, that's great, especially a tuned instrument like a guitar, ukulele, something where you can learn daily how to tune it. And then if you hit that string and you can, if it's dang and you're going, you can kind of feel that resonance of when you're on and when you're off. And one problem that a lot of singers have when they're just starting out, you remember this, Letitia, we're all on stage, there's 5 people singing, even the sax player's trying to sing, and you're trying to hear yourself, and so you compensate by going a little sharp or a little flat in order to hear your voice. And by doing that, it creates this dissonance. And so none of us are perfect. Even Avion likes to tune her vocals afterwards in the studio, but we want you to not rely on auto-tune. Letitia, what are we missing so far? This is Letitia. She sang on the Gravity album. Hello. You sang. You wailed on a few songs, and I'm thinking Prodigal right now. Yeah. You were wailing on the Prodigal Son.
Yeah.
What are some things that we haven't touched on yet that you think are crucial? You're a vocal instructor. You've taught it in college, university, and you teach it personally from what I understand. What are some things that you'd like to add?
Well, man, what Avion was saying about the wax ears, I've not done that before, but I already looked it up on my phone so I can order it. But I mean, I didn't really do a great job when I was touring with you guys on stage. I mean, there was so much sound and, you know, crazy amount of people in the audience, and you're so hyped and you're just like, there's just so much excitement. But one thing that I teach with my students is placement in your mouth. So that's one way that you can help to prevent from over singing and blasting out your voice, going with how you feel it inside your face. And I talk about in your cheeks or singing into your eyes and not singing in your throat. That's where you're going to get that friction, and that's where you're going to have that raspiness, and you're going to blow out your vocals. So placing it like in your cheeks, singing into your eyes, out through the top of your head into the ceiling, that's a good way to have more control, especially when you can't hear yourself as much.
Okay, so what you just said, I love it because I've never even thought about that. What you just said gave me this image of my head being like a gourd that they attach strings to, and now it makes a sound because it's resonating, or a guitar that's a hollow body, and so it's going to be different than
right.
And when I first started singing with CHRISTAFARI, I wanted to have that raspy voice. I didn't know that I was trying to imitate a guy that smoked 25 joints a day, and he naturally had the raspy voice. Somebody like Sade smokes X amount of packs of cigarettes a day and has that raspiness. We were talking about how Avion got her raspiness not by smoking. She never did, but part of it was just her vocals being affected by tonsillitis. And so in my case, I was like, I was trying to sing like this, and it was so bad, you know. I was trying to sing like, and it was just so horrible. But if you listen to like the first demo we ever did, I'm like, the communist wallets crumble, and it's like, and I was wondering why I was having to have all these lozenges and stuff. So how do I get that rasp without blowing it? Is there any way that somebody can learn how to get that? You know what I mean? Oh, those eyes! Don't do it, Mark. Be yourself.
Yes, that's what I would say.
Be yourself.
Whatever tone God give you, you develop that tone with excellence. Everybody's
and then I
voice
tried
is
to
different.
do I tried to imitate Buju Banton. Boom, bye, bye, you know, that kind of thing. And then
Oh.
people heard me doing it, and they called it the Cookie Monster. And that's when I knew that I had failed. But if you listen to Soul Fire, the original Soul Fire, that is not sustainable. It hurts for me to do that for 2 seconds. So if people said, why'd you change your sound? Because I'm already losing my voice just imitating myself. So learning how to sing from here. Talk about singing from there versus here. How do you get people to do it? How can they test right now by touching on their stomach or whatever to know that they're singing from the diaphragm?
So you want to feel like Avion was talking about your abdomen. You want to feel a tightness below in your, I don't know, we say our stomach, but it's really your abdomen.
Yeah.
So when you breathe in, the air goes down, your diaphragm drops, and you feel that tightness, and then that's what you sing against, as opposed to singing in your throat. And then that gives you the support you need so that you're not jacking up your vocal cords, and you're putting more pressure down in your belly area. So you can breathe in, and it expands, and then you blow it out. That makes sense.
It's like, I guess, like a karate stance, where if you stand there and you're not tightening your stomach. If somebody push you, you just like. But if you like stand your ground, you're firmer.
Tighten your core.
Yeah.
Are you singing from your core? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Your midsection.
There's a tension right here. You just right here. You keep that tension. It helps to control what's going on up here. Whereas if you relax here and you blow out. You blow out here, or you tend to go like there. But if you have this, it helps to control more, and it's just like more control.
Yeah. And more support. It gives you more support.
Yeah.
Letitia, give us a little exercise. Give us a taste of what you sound like, because some people are probably like, "Who's this girl?" It's been a few years since you sang with us on stage.
It has been. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to stand up.
Yeah, please go right ahead.
Okay. All right. So you can use like a pin. You put it in your belly button, and when you breathe in, it expands, and then you blow it out. So I'll just pick any notes. And you can go on and on forever, but it just supports the note. It supports your sound. It'll give you distance. You'll be able to project, and you won't be doing it from your throat. It'll sustain much longer.
Yes.
Awesome. Can you sing your favorite chorus for us real quick, just so we can hear how you sing?
Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it takes a blubber fights till I'm down.
Watermelon.
99. I couldn't earn it. I don't deserve it. Still, you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God.
Nice, very nice. Excellent. Nikita, would you like to add anything to this?
Yes, kind of like what Letitia was saying, in my classes, what I've been learning to make it fun, because sometimes when you do your classes, it can kind of feel like redundant. So one thing that my online teacher does, she uses boxing gloves to kind of work, like you push down while you're breathing. And so you're focusing more so on your vocal support versus singing from the throat. And another thing that I do in boot camp breathing, she makes me lay down on the ground, puts a book on my stomach, and for almost 3-5 minutes, she makes me do these exercises, and the book has to remain up, like while you're doing your circular breathing. So like if you have a hard time doing it standing, you can start by just laying on the floor, because that's when you're sleeping, you're actually naturally breathing from the stomach. So that's another thing.
And that is boot camp breathing, not boot camp breathing.
No, boot camp, yeah. What did I say? English, second language.
I'm just messing with you. You don't need to translate that. My wife talks about breeding all the time, but we only have one kid. Bad joke. All right. So let's get to some questions.
Yes.
And I really am very excited about these questions. And if I could ask somebody from our team to translate or just pop in and ask the questions, we will answer accordingly. Okay. If you have hoarseness or vocal tiredness after a show, how do you self-care for your voice after? I'll answer this, and then Letitia will tell me I'm wrong. Okay, so first thing you got to do is this. Talking is the one thing that you can control. And so if your goal is to sing on stage, you should, and you have any sort of potential of being hoarse or tired or vocal tired, you need to not talk before the show. You need to not talk after the show. And you need to limit your talking to only on stage and as little as possible. For me, it turned out that I wasn't singing wrong as much as I was speaking wrong, and I still do it today. And so I had to learn a lot of these exercises. There's exercises, breathing exercises you can do, and then like you're breathing from just a pin and things like that to relax. You know what else helps? Eating helps relax your vocal cords. Chewing gum helps relax it. Drinking lots and lots and lots of water. And if you drink a lot today, it won't help you today. But if you do that for a few days, it will start to make your body more lubricated, and that is crucial. Avoid caffeine, avoid anything super hot, avoid menthol or mint, and then beyond that, sleep as much as you can. That is the most important thing for your voice, unless you snore. If you snore, sleeping will actually hurt your voice. So you're screwed no matter what. But those are the tips that I've learned over the years. And beyond that, in-ear monitor is the only way. I used to blow out my voice or lose my voice every show. And so I would have to arrange the set so that, because I knew I couldn't hit this range this late in the set. I could only hit it at the beginning. And once I got in-ear monitors, I never lost my voice again, and I was able to sing even when I was sick. And one thing that we do with our band, if you're in a worship team, get them to do it, is we mix our own monitors with our phones. So even on the stage, we can adjust our settings and hear ourselves. And I would get molded in-ears. My in-ears is Thiago Costa. He's one of our teachers here. He did all our molds, and he would definitely hook you guys up. So I would encourage you, wherever you are in the world, in-ear monitors is the best thing for that. Yeah. But you still have to be able to sing. Yeah. Would you like to add anything to that, Letitia?
Well, as I said earlier, some people may not be able to afford in-ears. Yeah. You use the wax earplugs.
Yeah. Or you could even take, if there's a pack, you could use iPhone and maybe even put wax around it or whatever. But ultimately, you want to be able to hear yourself and not have to fight for that monitor and the feedback that happens on stage and all the things. But how about you, Letitia? What would you say to somebody who's hoarse like that? Vocal rest is obviously the number one thing.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you nailed it. You said everything that I would have said. There was something that you kind of touched on that reminded me of my own training. My voice teacher used to always say that your singing voice is really an extension of your talking voice. So a lot of people think, okay, this is my singing voice and this is my talking voice, but they're really one and the same. When you're singing, you're just sustaining tones, you're sustaining notes. So however you would talk, that is how you would sing. You're just sustaining it, or maybe you're just projecting it. But basically everything that you said is what I would say. Nailed it.
Nailed it. I used to have to do tours where I wouldn't talk for 23 hours of the day. It was tough to lead a band and do that. Thank God for in-ear monitors now.
Next question from Diana. How can I get support for the highs? Like high notes, high vocal range?
I think that there's one of two things you're dealing with, either head voice, falsetto, or from your diaphragm. And maybe Avi, you can show what that is.
For me, falsetto, because some notes I wouldn't be able to hit with my full voice high. Let's say, oh gosh, what note? Let me find it.
Well, you always had a problem with the bridge of Hosanna.
So yeah, like that note. It would be difficult for me with my tone to hit it with my natural voice. So like, I can't. But you can do it with falsetto. You call it falsetto. It's like a would you describe falsetto? I just know the word falsetto, but it's you go.
Is that your head voice?
Yeah, it's your head voice.
So I can hit it with that. But my natural voice, I can't. So you have to learn how to.
I can't hit it at all.
So you have to learn how to develop your falsetto voice. So you go. So you go for so I would like practice things like that, going in from your natural voice into falsetto, back and forth. So when you're singing on stage and you have to hit a high note that you may not be able to hit with your natural voice, you just jump into falsetto. And one thing that somebody taught me too was if you want to do a high note in your natural voice, they always say think nasal. Like open up right here. So kind of push it up to here. And so so you just gonna so you think like right here, almost like you're smiling. Yeah.
I've heard people say that if you're singing a little flat, to smile.
Yeah.
I used to try going on my tippy toes like Pee Wee Herman, and it didn't work.
Oh, I have something.
Go ahead.
No, my other teacher said if you sing, you can also squeeze your butt cheeks.
Your butt?
Yeah.
I knew you were going to say something about your butt.
For me, I squeeze my toes. Yeah. My toes do like this all the time when I'm singing.
Yes. So are toes. The funny thing is when I sing in the studio, if you were to see me, my hands, I'm like an interpretive dancer. I cannot sing without. I remember when I did a vocal class in high school, and my teacher's like, Mark, can you please sing without your forehead moving so much and your eyebrows and your hands? I'm like, I can't do it. I don't know what it is. But everybody's got their way, their style. Be you. Don't be the person you're seeing on American Idol. Don't be the person you're seeing on The Voice. Have your own voice and use your voice for his voice.
Mm-hmm. Now the question I saw was about instrument. Where was it? They were asking what preferred instrument. I guess what easy. I think piano melodica is a good foundation instrument because it doesn't go out of tune.
Yeah.
A guitar, you have to know how to tune it.
Yeah.
Or a bass, but piano melodicas are always in tune, so you're sure to tune your voice with that.
We heard a significant improvement in Nikita's vocals that were already good, but when she started practicing bass 5 hours a day, and she felt like she was actually sacrificing her vocal practice, she didn't realize that she was reinforcing playing the right note, knowing the right is so crucial in this day and age. And there has never been a time in the history of mankind when our ears have been so tuned to perfect pitch, thanks to Waves Tune, thanks to Auto Tune, thanks to every pop hit on the radio being tuned. Now we know even more so than ever before if something's a little off. And that's the thing that you need to work on the most, and that's one of the harder things to fix. How does somebody go from being slightly tone deaf to not being Letitia? What would you give? You've had students where you're just like, oh Lord, this one's going to take a little longer. What would you advise?
Well, okay, one thing is most people are not tone deaf. Most people are not tone deaf. You have to have had some kind of injury or birth defect or something like that to be tone deaf. A lot of times people just have a hard time knowing how to listen. So a lot of times I'll have students sit at the piano, because that's the instrument that I think, well, it relates most to me, but just having them sit at the piano and play a note and then sing it. Mm-hmm. Or I'll do like ear training, or I'll play the piano while they're not near the piano, like they can't see what key I'm playing or what note I'm playing, and have them repeat back what they hear. So it's really just about listening. A lot of times people just don't trust their ear and they go for what they think the note is.
Yeah.
Another way is if you're teaching someone and they're not finding the note, or you're recording and they're not finding the note and they're just off, you can find the note that they're singing, whether it's on guitar or piano, whatever, and then get them to go from where they're at to the note that you're trying to get them to go to. But start at the note that they're stuck at, when people are stuck, start at that note and then, okay, this is where I'm trying to get you to go, and have them slowly go up the scale or down the scale to whatever note they're trying to find.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. And if you can teach them that, I don't know what it is, but there's a certain kind of vibration that you feel when you hit the same note. What is that? Especially when you're playing a piano, you can feel it. You can actually feel it coming through the note on your finger, and there's something. There's a click. If you can learn how to make that click, that's where there's not that dissonance. Any tip to that?
I don't really know what that would be called. I mean, I've learned that from singing with other people, especially when you're like in a choir or small group and maybe you're singing unison. I just try to get inside the note, or if I'm singing with other people, I try to like get inside of their mouth. Like when I'm singing with people, I'm looking right at them, looking inside their mouth, so that you're getting it's like getting inside of the note, not around it, not under it, not above it, but just right inside the note.
Okay, great.
And I as I said before, I think an instrument really, really is important in tuning, and it also helps with coming up with harmonies, because each chord has harmony, has like the main.
1, 3, 5.
Yeah. So once you hear the main note of a song, you instantly hear the harmony to it. And there's another one. So learning chords helps a lot. Whether if you learn to play it or listening to it all the time, you always need to listen for that 1, 2, 3. And I've seen a lot where, like when my dad would train people who didn't know how to sing at all, he would always use an instrument and tune it. That just tune your ears. Yeah. After a while, hearing the chords, the notes, your ears just get in tune to it. So this is a great start here if you don't have anything.
That's melodic. It doesn't require being plugged in.
Yeah.
And you can feel those vibrations as you blow. You can actually feel the vibrations in your skull. Mm-hmm. And so it definitely helps you understand that as well. Jamie K, by the way, Jamie, I love how interactive you are. Do you push through sickness to sing for a live show, or is this dangerous for your voice? Yes and yes. Yes, you push through. Yes, it's dangerous for your voice. The question is, how crucial is the show? And the question is, how sick are you? if you're in a choir and you don't have a voice, you don't join on stage. It's just, I mean, at least that's what I would do. If you are a lead vocalist of a touring band and people are paying money to see you, or people are coming out and you have an audience, you give them your best songs, you do a shorter set. For us, there have been one or two times where I literally was so sick, I had Avion do the majority of the songs that night. I sang little parts, and then when it came to the gospel, preaching the gospel, by the way, that's why we do what we do. Remember, not just how you do it, not just why you do it, but who you do it for. I would have another band member present the gospel, and I would be resting my voice, and we would come back for one encore. And those people didn't know in Kauai, when I was really sick, that CHRISTAFARI normally does 2.5 hour shows, not an hour and 15 minutes. But I paired and worked the whole set list according to my ability, and I would encourage you to do the same. Anybody want to add anything to that?
Yeah, from time and time again, I'll be sick at a concert or something, and you just push through. And God ultimately gives you the strength, and he always shows up. It was only like 1 or 2 times in my life where I absolutely couldn't sing. I was in Hawaii, I think it was, and I had to ask Maka to sing. Maka sang everything for me. But literally, there was no song coming out of my vocals.
And there is a point where you can do damage, serious damage. My friend Mark, who was the lead singer of Audio Adrenaline, forever paralyzed his vocal cords and can never sing again. So don't mess around with your voice. It's kind of like teeth. You don't get new ones if you lose these. If you completely ruin your vocal cords, I'm hearing things that are happening in my voice that weren't happening 10 years ago. That means my voice will not be as clean as it was before. So you have to take care of your voice. Jason Mohr says, do you recommend steaming your vocal cords? Have you ever done that, Letitia?
I've never done that.
Steaming.
Oh, no. I mean, I've used steam to like clear up nasal passages that are closed. I mean, with my voice, I don't know if I would use steam. I would gargle salt water.
It may be a little too harsh. I would say this though, when I'm sick on tour, a very long, extremely hot shower with the hot water on for like 10 minutes before you get into the shower, and make sure the door is shut. That can help alleviate a little bit. But yeah, I would avoid anything extremely hot. Jasmine Cordova, what do you recommend for vibrato control? Ooh, that sounds like a Letitia question, because you are the queen of vibrato.
Her face.
I'm terrible at this. My vibrato is like ginormous. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. You control vibrato. Vibrato, just so you know, guys, is the pumping. It's like a tremolo that is on an organ. So would be your vibrato. The hardest thing is to hold a long note straight without doing any vibrato. That is the hardest. Vibrato is easy, but what would you recommend for vibrato control? Anybody?
Same thing with the diaphragm. If you want to control vibrato, I don't know much about vibrato because I sing.
You do it. You do a thing. Well, she puts the pen in her belly button. You go ha 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 ha. You do things like that or something.
Yeah. I think there should be a balance with vibrato. You should be able to control, give enough vibrato, but also give enough without vibrato. So I would learn both ways. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the style a lot of times.
Yeah.
I mean, I developed a lot of vibrato because I did classical singing in college.
Yes, it's different. You know, there are all kinds of different ways of singing. So if you want to do vibrato,
I think there should always be a little bit of vibrato, because vibrato is a release to me. So there should always just be a little bit. If you're singing in a group, you don't want to have too much, because everyone's vibrato should kind of be the same.
It gets messy.
Yeah, but to me, I just have to mentally focus to have like a straight tone, and then maybe release a little vibrato at the end.
Yeah, and then we have a question from Tim Dowling. How do you find what key is best for you to sing a song in? I would say by trying it in different ones, by singing along to different versions of it. Avion talked about on the melodica, or as Letitia said, on the piano, you go from the lowest key in your range, and then the highest key in your range, and somewhere in the middle is your sweet spot. One of the challenges we have at CHRISTAFARI is to find a song that I can sing in, and that Avion can sing in. So Hosanna, whether you know it or not, is a key that Avion hates.
Yes.
I mean, despises. It's our biggest hit. And it's hard for her to do it each night. There's certain notes. Which note is it?
Oh, I have to have the key of the song. No, well, lost my train of thought.
But yeah, finding that sweet spot and knowing your range and knowing what you can do, and then working with it. And
what I was gonna say, like for me, I would pick a key, have Times or Juju Justin play the song in whatever key they think I should try, and I would sing it. And then, but some songs do like low to high in the chorus, and then you realize, oh, by the time I reach the chorus, it's too high. So drop it a half tone down. Then I'll try it a half tone down. If I'm not feeling comfortable, hey, let's take it a whole tone down. And we just keep on trying out. So you try from verse to chorus what you feel most relaxed. And most of the times, I think D is my, I don't
Justin
know.
knows the key.
Yeah, Justin knows.
D is Avion.
D.
We try to stay away from E and A's.
E and A, she does not like that one bit. Hey, I'm gonna play something for you guys really quick. Give me a second. It's gonna take me a moment to screen share and to figure this out. But I figure since we're here, I want to show you the lowest note in Avion's register. You may get a kick out of it. You may enjoy it. You may hate it. She's gonna cringe as she hears it, but she better not, because it's about ready to be released. Let's see here. Okay. Here it is, and
it's you see, you see, yeah, yeah, it was pretty low.
Am I on screen share, guys?
I keep fighting voices in my mind that say I'm not enough.
Here it comes.
Every single lie that tells me I will never measure up.
That's the one.
Am I more than just the sum of every high and every low? Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know. Ooh, you say I'm loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I'm strong
yeah, a great example of it is this song where the low is thank you Letitia, is super low, and the high is her sweet spot. She really want to go higher. Here's a little bit later in the song.
When I am falling short, and when I don't belong, oh, you say I'm yours, and I believe, oh, I believe what you say of me. I believe, oh, I believe, yes, I believe what you say of me. Now I believe,
So there you have it. That's one of the tracks from Avion's new album, and the album is called Fly. And we have a special invite for you guys. For anybody who donates to us at CHRISTAFARI.com/donate, we are going to send you the full download of that album with the lyrics, with the album cover, credits and everything. 320 kbps MP3s of the entire album. We just finished it last night. We got to get a few songs remastered. Just typed up the lyrics. It will not be out for another month in any of the online stores, but we want to bless those who pour into this ministry, and so we want to give you that. We'll send you the email after you donate at CHRISTAFARI.com/donate. And there's some fun songs. One of the toughest things for Avion to sing on that album was this song, and there are only 2 covers on the entire album. These are the pre-masters I'm playing, but this cover was particularly hard for her. And listen to this breath control here. You may know the beginning of the song. Let me see if we're hearing it.
Yeah, the birds.
Let's dance.
I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way.
So you guys have probably heard that song. The hardest part for her, and the reason why Avion didn't want to do the song, was this section coming up here.
Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, there's nothing but blue
So yeah, needless to say, that's going to be a hard one. That's going to be a very hard one to do live.
But something about live though.
In live,
Adrenaline
how is
kicks
live
in.
different from the studio? How is it different?
I think it's adrenaline. Something in adrenaline just kind of kicks in. Sometimes a song might be too high for you in the studio, and you get on stage and it's suddenly low. So I don't know.
So you rise to the occasion.
Yeah.
Adrenaline definitely helps.
Yeah.
Okay, Letitia asked a question. She says, I know you were born into music, but when did you know that God had called you to sing and songwrite for him? Great question.
Well, I was brought up to sing for God most of my life, but when I was at the age 14, I knew, at a quiet time, walking around in the jungle, I knew he said he wanted me to use my voice only for him, and from since then, I know there's something in me. I just feel like if I'm not singing for God, then I wouldn't use my voice. That's how I feel. Like I don't have the desire to sing anything other than for God. And I remember one time, this was years ago, we had opportunities to do like songwriting for TV shows and stuff, and it was good money. It was really good money coming in, and I started seeing that it was like, you know, songs like love songs and, you know, not bad songs, just, but they started using the songs for, I didn't have the right on the songs for where they would use it. So they would have it like in love making scenes and, you know, different things like that. And I was like, this is not glorifying God, you know? And even though we had so many opportunities coming in left and right, to even do more, I just said to Mark, you know, I don't want to do this. We shouldn't do this anymore. And he had all agreed that he had the same feeling. We said, you know, we're not going to do this anymore. And God provided for us. We saw that He provided once we take that step, because, you know. So I feel like He has given me this gift for others to know Him more, or to bring people into worship for Him. And I just don't know how to explain it. I just can't see myself doing anything else with my voice.
I'd like to add something to that, a different perspective of it. I don't think that it's an issue of her being uniquely called to use her gift for God. I think it's her coming to the awareness that God wants us all to use whatever He's given us for His glory. Yeah. I'm reminded of the Psalm, let everything that has breath, what is the next word?
Praise Him.
Praise the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Let everything that has breath praise the Lord. We hear in the Bible a donkey talking a message of God. We hear that if we don't do it, He will make the rocks cry out. I'm reminded of a few verses. Psalm 40, He put a new song in my mouth, a hymn of praise that many will see, many will put their fear, many will put their trust in Him. I'm reminded of Zephaniah 7:13. He's a mighty warrior, God is. He will rejoice over you with singing. God is rejoicing over you right now with singing. Job 35:10 says, God my maker, who gives us songs in the night. If you've ever had this inspiration for a song, you're creative because the Creator's inside. Now obviously Satan wants to twist and distort that. Satan wants to take that gift and use it to give you glory, to get you a Grammy, to put all the focus and the effort and energy on you. There's nothing wrong with having that Grammy, but what I'm trying to say is it's not about you, it's about God. Mm-hmm. Ephesians 2:10, the verse that inspired this entire set of workshops. You are God's workmanship. You know what the word workmanship is in Greek? It's poema. It's where we get the word poem from. You're His masterpiece, His poem, His song, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them. So I believe every one of us has these good works in the Lord prepared beforehand that we should walk into. I've seen a lot of people go to the right or to the left and stray from that. So I don't believe it's an issue of calling as much as it is an issue of awareness. And that's why you're watching this. The one thing that you're going to find contrasting how we teach every one of these classes versus any class you can watch for free or pay to be a part of is we're going to encourage you to grow in your gifts of God and go into the world. Anybody like to add anything to that?
Well, you know, I just feel like there's a joy. It's like
a soul satisfaction.
Yeah, there's a soul satisfaction. There's a joy. There's a communication that happens when you sing for God and worship Him. It's just there's this connection, and I just feel so complete. And with that completion, what comes out is you see people, you bring people into that worship as well. They feel it. They get into worship as well. So I and then another thing is I bring it back to words. Words are powerful, and what comes out is powerful, and it has meaning. So whatever you're singing, it's a part of you. So what do you want to reflect? What do you want come out of you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Letitia, you want to add anything?
Yeah. So in my question, when I was saying, when did she feel that she was called? You know, what I know of Avion is that she's multi-talented, you know, like she paints and she makes clothes and all, you know, but the one thing that she chose to do for the rest of her life was singing and songwriting. And I just think a lot of people feel like, a lot of people want to sing, right? Everybody wants to sing and they want to do music, but not everybody is called to do, you know, like
well,
you may be in a choir, but you may not be called to tour all over the world, you know, like that was the one thing that she chose to do. That was the thing that she was most passionate about.
Well, the thing, it's weird. I might be very passionate about fashion. I'm very passionate about fashion. I'm very passionate. And cats. And art. Right. I'm very passionate about art. I was doing it, and I was even finding ways to even glorify God. When I was in fashion, there were a lot of people I was counseling, my clients and stuff. You know, I had opportunities, but then I felt God had led me and pushed me more into singing, and I just gave up everything else and focused on that. And I feel, and I would say, God, you know, when if you want me to stop this, when I will whenever you want me to, but I haven't felt him saying to stop us yet.
Yeah.
But I guess it just comes back to a calling, God saying, and being obedient to the call. Right. You know. Yeah.
Well, the other thing, I think the most important thing in all this is she is gifted in all those things, but where she's seeing the fruit,
yes,
she's seeing the amount of salvations, the amount of lives impacted. It's not through the 8 hours she spent working on one T-shirt that she sold to one person who wore it 10 times and then it got messed up by their dryer. And that is a use of your time and effort. But she realized that if she spent those same hours in the studio, you know, 16 million people could be blessed by it, and we could point people to the cross. So I think that's a great question, a rich question. I will say that there are a lot of people who think that they have what it takes, and this is where you have to kind of measure what. Or ask yourself, what is success? We see success as God saying, well done, my good and faithful servant. Right. But if you measure success by the Grammy or by the sales or the #1 or this or that, you may be disappointed. And God may want you to be the best shower singer or the best choir singer or the best opera singer or the best musical singer in your little hometown or in Broadway. I don't know. I don't think there's space for everybody to be a star. I don't think any of us are stars. I think humility is a big portion of it as well. But those are some things. Okay, we've got a few minutes left. I want to blaze through these questions. Navigating the switch from chest voice to head voice when a song uses both in your range. How do you do that? Jamie K is asking. It's a very hard thing for you to do. You just did that in the studio the other night for one of your songs. How did you figure out how to do that?
I guess through practice, as I was saying earlier, you find what your natural voice, and you find where your natural voice can't go to that high note, and you find the what do you call it? What's it? Falsetto. So you find that falsetto, and you do like vocal practices that will help. So you go things like that. So after a while, your vocals will be trained. So.
And the biggest challenge is to do it in such a way so you're not really loud and really soft, or really soft and really loud, and where your tone is about the same. And learning how to temper that, how to filter that, how to compress that with your vocal cords takes time. Not easy. Okay, I don't like singing with a mic. Micah doesn't like singing with a mic because I feel like it distorts my voice. Is it just me? Could you share a little bit about vocal control with mics? I also think I need to learn to love my tone. I think starting with accepting how you sound is a good thing. I think the mic that you're on, she's got a mic right here, and the mic right next to it that's kind of hidden is a $600 mic. There's $4,000 mics. We don't have those, but those mics will all make you sound a little different. If your voice is sounding distorted and you're not naturally a death metal singer, chances are it's the sound system you're in.
Mm-hmm.
Chances are it's you're trying to sing through a guitar amp or something that is distorting it or oversaturating the voice. So I would try and just find a clean mic and a clear signal and make sure that, like maybe on Logic or something, and make sure that you're hearing what you're hearing and it's not just the system. As for mic,
I know me personally,
go ahead.
for mics, you gotta kiss it basically.
Yeah.
You have to kiss the mic. And the song engineer will go up or down. Where, if your voice is coming out distorted, they should be able to turn it down for you. You could, of course, you can control too, because you can, as I said, the vocal practice I was showing earlier, where you go like start, and you come back soft. That is practicing voice control. So I guess when you hear how, if you distort it, you bring it down a bit, and you always, as I say, you always kiss your mic.
Yeah, which is why we bring our own mics.
Yes.
And because when we didn't, we were getting sick.
Yes.
All the time. Or stinky mics. Oh my gosh! Somebody before us. So wrong. So wrong.
Yes.
And so I if you don't touch it, put your thumb up and touch your thumb or get it close to it, but don't cup the mic. Have your hands down, and I try and touch my lips to the mic, and
my mic has lipstick all over it.
Her mic has lipstick all over it. It's real easy to find. Mine does not. And then another thing to keep in mind is that you're using a dynamic mic if it's on stage, and it's very different than a condenser mic. We'll get into those differences when I teach you. The class next week that I'm going to be teaching, and Avion will be here, is how we record vocals in the studio. Woo! You will see everything from different takes to comping to tuning to. You will see. We will let you behind the curtain, and you'll be like, "Oh wow, that's a lot of work." But yeah, so that's a crucial thing. How to do that with the mic, and then of course avoid the monitors and be comfortable with your voice. God gave you your voice. You can learn how to perfect it, but God gave you your voice, so don't get mad at Him when you sing. How do you prepare your voice to sing in the recording studio? Thank you very much. Next week I will address that, and that is in our recording vocals class. But a lot of the same tips. How can you avoid getting a headache when you sing? Letitia, how can you avoid getting a headache when you sing?
I think breathing.
I've heard that before.
I know. I was wondering. Sometimes I think there can be a lot of tension.
Singing too loud.
Relax
Maybe you're
yourself.
singing too loud. Maybe a lot of tension. Maybe a lot of pressure. I know that sometimes I'll take like Advil before I go on stage because I'm going to be jumping a lot. And you don't want to kill yourself. But yeah, I don't know. If it's a regular pattern, you may want to take some sort of painkiller before, if necessary. Illegal, over the counter, of course. Legal, I said, not illegal. Would you recommend to try to develop a fake voice like Buju Banton if a singer really likes a specific style? Buju's not trying to imitate anybody, so why should you try and imitate him? Why? I mean, I was the guy who was trying to imitate Buju, but why would I want to try and imitate a thug, weed smoker that was put in jail for cocaine distribution and that tried to stab me 3 times? Yeah, I'm not going to try. I'm going to try and be myself. It took me about 5 albums to figure out my own style, my own sound, and it's becoming more and more casual and more, that kind of just who I am. But I would definitely say be you, boo. Be you, boo. Can you regain high notes if you sing lower notes for a period of time? If so, any suggestions?
Yeah.
Don't even know what that means.
Yeah, if you
like building up your. I think warming up is good.
Yeah.
Practicing a lot.
Yeah, practicing a lot. As I say, you find your lowest note, you reach to your highest note, and you keep on pushing. After you're rising that high note, and then you go on to even higher notes. You switch. You keep on. It's just like strength training. You might be able.
Yeah. You don't lift. You don't lift.
Yeah,
200
you don't start.
pounds
Yeah.
First. You start with.
Yeah.
2 and then 5 and then 10 and you
then
build that up. Yeah.
Yeah. So
resistance.
Yeah.
And warming up is crucial for before you go on stage. If you're gonna go on stage, peeing right before you go on stage is good as well. Because you gotta pee, everybody pees, and you feel like you gotta pee, and you just gotta empty that out. That's a crucial thing. But how do you prepare your voice to sing in a recording studio? We'll talk about that next week, but some of the same principles. How do you blend voices well? Practice.
And listen to each other.
Listen to each other.
Don't try to outsing each other.
As Letitia says, look in each other's mouth like a dentist.
And let's open up your ears, because when you listen to each other, you realize if this person's singing, you won't be like on top of that person. You want to match their tone, so that's when it's unified.
It's a good practice of submission. Submission.
Okay, yeah. One of the things I mentioned earlier in an earlier class was music is a mission, not a competition. So it shouldn't be about you being louder or better. Nikita, what do you want to say?
Oh, what I want to say. Oh, actually, I just typed it, but I said, keep practicing, because honestly, I hear your vocal cords are like a muscle. So like how Avion said, if you're working out in a gym, you will get better and you can get more weights. And so if you start, practicing more and more, you'll notice suddenly you're improving.
Yeah.
Nice. And when singing outdoors, no matter the season, do you find that weather affects your voice? Absolutely.
Yes.
There have been times when we're on a Native American reservation in the desert, and I'm like coughing because it's so dry, or if it's dusty, or if there's pollen. Letitia, tell them about the Olympic Games. Remember when we played the Olympic Games?
I just remember it was cold. Oh, and we were outside.
Yes.
Oh.
That was the coldest I've ever been on stage.
I mean,
it
you just know that coldness causes, what's the word?
Constriction, or I don't know.
Yeah. So you just gotta warm it up. You gotta warm it up so that they
fur coat.
Yeah, so you had scarves on.
A scarf.
Yeah, it was like, it felt like 20 below. It was the Winter Olympics. It was funny because when we did the Summer Olympics, it was hot, and then the winter was just like, yeah, you know what? You just push through. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength.
Amen.
And you do so without complaining and arguing. So great question, though. What about mixing the voice, Juan Martinez? Again, I'm going to encourage you to join our class on vocals, and I'm going to teach you how I mix it, and then my class on how to mix a song, where I'm going to talk more about that and production. And what's the Spanish? Como anybody who Hernandez, what is that? Who's going to type that in? Any other questions, guys, before we go? We are coming towards the end.
Can we hear Nikita sing a little bit?
Nikita?
They want to hear the song, the video.
Okay.
Yes. You have it.
I can play it. I'll give you a taste of it. But here's the thing. I'll start it, but you guys need to, the second we're done, after you go to CHRISTAFARI.com/donate, if you could please go over and watch it on YouTube. Here we go. I'm going to pull it up. It's going to take a second to play it. Lord willing, it will play it right. Give me a sec here, guys. Any closing things that you guys want to add as I pull this up?
This is awesome. I'm glad you guys did this.
Oh, I'm glad you joined us.
Yeah.
I love you guys so much.
We love you too.
This was
All right.
awesome. Thank you
Here
for
we go.
doing this.
Here we go. I'm going to share this now, and let's watch the beginning. Can you still hear me, guys? If you can still hear me, give a thumbs up. Okay, you got a thumbs up. Okay, let me just clear off my screen here. Okay, and there we go. Here we go. This is the beginning of the video. You got to watch the end to see what happens.
Until I know I will go. Until I know I will go.
Every tribe, every nation, every tongue, generation to generation, preach the gospel to all creation. Yes, preach the word till all have heard it. Every tribe, every nation, every tongue, generation to generation, to the land, to the sea, to the sky. Yes, teach them about the most high. Say, lock and step with the spirit of the land, lock and step with God, lock and step with the spirit of the land. Say, lock and step with God, yeah, lock and step with the spirit of the land, lock and step with God. Say, lock and step with the spirit of the land. Say, lock and step with God.
Until I know I will go. Until I know I will go. Yeah.
All the world will worship you.
So there you have it. I'm gonna have you guys watch the rest.
Dope.
Because it gets better and better and better. And we go to Times Square. One of the things that I really, really love is all the people that come together at the end and what they do. And we want to encourage you guys to lock and step with the Spirit of God, to step into your gifting, step into your calling, and remember what I said earlier, not just how to sing, but why you sing, who you sing for, and how you define success will ultimately define you. Justin, what classes do we have going on?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us again for a great class. Tomorrow we have a special guest teacher. Mark Johnston is coming in from Northern California. And he will be teaching youth ministry and teaching, and I'm going to try this next one.
Experientially.
That word, teaching experientially. Big words again, guys. So Mark Johnston will be doing the 3 and 5 p.m. here at in Rolling Hills, and I want to encourage you guys to jump on that because he is so filled with knowledge on how to outreach little kids, teenagers, and young adults. And if I'm not mistaken, his brother ran the camp that
led me to Christ.
That Mark got saved at. And so that's tomorrow. And I want to thank our translators and moderators that worked the classes today. And if you're blessed by today's classes, I want to encourage you to go to our website, CHRISTAFARI.com/donate, and head over to the Most Needed Fund, as it does take a lot of resources to put this program together. Thank you so much, everyone. And,
we've been so blessed by each one of you guys partnering, whether it's Jamie K, who mentioned, who supported us last week, and others that have donated. As I'm looking at Letitia's beautiful face, she didn't just sing with us, but she's also partnered with us financially, and we're so blessed by her and by other people who make it possible for us to go and to encourage you to grow so that you can go. This year we were supposed to be in 30 nations, and it didn't happen. Lord knows Lord only knows when we can go next. But in the meantime, I'm so excited about the almost 1,000 people so far that we've helped equip. And thank you for that. And so just as a reminder, CHRISTAFARI.com/donate. And the most needed fund will get the money to the most needed cause. And here we go. Next week, song mixing on Monday. That would be a really good one. If you're an instrumentalist, on Tuesday, the power of chord progression. If you want to learn live sound on Tuesday, again, Connor is going to be teaching you the second one on the live sound. Next one on Wednesday, Worship Keys by Justin Nalimu and David Fohe. iPhone filmmaking. And then on Thursday, building beats, programming it from scratch. Justin's going to be doing that. And how to promote an album, a concert, or a song. I'll be teaching on Thursday. All of this stuff and so much more next week and the week after that. We love you guys. We are so grateful for you guys. Now, once you go to CHRISTAFARI.com/donate, remember, in just a few hours, we're going to be sending you a link to download Avion's album for free if you partner with us. And then after that, don't forget to go over to YouTube and watch Lock and Step. And keep it locked into the Spirit of God. God bless you.